Hello friends, now in this video tutorial we will see how we can add sub collection into our collections like this one. Here you can see we are having a collection name USA, and then we are having a document. Inside document we are having USA. Here you can see that we are having all of the fields, and then we are having three sub collections inside my document. So you can see that here is the sub collection name. You can see that we are having three different types of sub collections. So in this video tutorial we will see how we can add this thing into our firestore like collection, and we will insert sub collections over here as well. So you can see that we are having a blank page over there, so we don't have anything. So let's start building some of the so let's inside our body let's add column widget. So we have to just use cross axis alignment dot center, and we will use main axis alignment dot center. Okay, so what this will does, so let's add this in a safe area widget, so our text will not go beyond the above. So if we will just restart this, so what it will do, so you can see we are having now white background screen. Okay, so let's add text button. So with on press of that button we will just add of our logic. What should we need to do? So let's give child it to a text widget. So write down add collection. Okay, simple, only add collection. So we will use the word we will use the const keyword here. So you can see the warning is gone. So here is the I have created this method. Basically this method is inside my API service class. This is the add collection method. So let's call this method. Let's create a object for this. Let's say API service is equal to API services. So what we have done, we have just created an object of our class. So if we wanted to call this method from our class add collection, we will just use here you can see add collection method. So so this is so far we have just used this so okay, first of all let's refresh the app so we can see that so you can see that we are having button over there, but you can't see because we have used both cross axis alignment and main axis alignment to center, but we can see that we are not placing our button at the right spot. So let's give this inside a center widget. So you can see that we are just placing our button inside center widget. So if we go over there, so we have to just create a so let's create a value called it. So just remove these things. What we have to do, uh, just have to await, and we called it as users because we have created a so let's create a new collection over there. So called it as FTM. So let's create users dot add method. So what it will does, it will just accept the the object of map. So we will just pass two, let's say, parameters. Let's say ID, we called it as let's provide ID into like this, and let's call it as let's call name as subcollection first. Okay, so these are the two parameters. So we can obviously use we can just pass these two parameter under there. So while calling this method, we will just pass the two parameters and place these parameter here, so we can just add these two parameters. So so what should we need to do here? First we have to use a variable, let's say called it as a result, and we have to store the variable inside this, because we wanted to get the ID of that result. Let's say we wanted to add one item and we want to get back the added ID here. So if we will just use result dot, so you can see we are getting the ID. See, okay, so let's forget about this and what it will does. Okay, so let's refresh it. It's a very simple tutorial. If we click on add collection button, so what it does, if we just refresh our database, so here you can see that we are getting a collection over there, and this is the ID that we just wanted to get, because we wanted to insert a sub collection for this document. So we will get this ID from our uh, you know from our where we have done. Okay, so here you can see this is the ID we will get from this. So this is the ID that we will getting after calling this method. Okay, uh, so what we will do, so we wanted to just add a sub collection over there. Okay, so I have created a simple method for you guys, so it's very easy for you to just add a sub collection over there. So I will just write it down for you. So let's call it as future. Basically this is just my logic which you can just write your own. So let's add multiple collections. So we have to return string over there, from there called it as success. But you can see that we will not, the error is not gone away, so you have to use the async keyword over there. So what this will does, so we have to just call this method, and what it will does, it will just take the let's call it as string ID. So let's add this method. So now we are referencing to FTM, and we wanted to add another another sub collection, add multiple collections. Okay, so what should we need to do? Sorry. Okay, so now you just have to use method called, sorry, uses dot. Okay, so first of all you wanted to get that document, so that you have created so far. So you can see if we just go over there and write users dot doc, so we have to provide the ID in which we are just wanted to add our collection. So here you can see we are just call the collection keyword over there, collection method over there, and we have to write our collection name. So let's write it as spending history. Okay, so now you will just add you will just add a map of objects. So let's copy this map and place this map, and let's call it as ID, and we will get this ID. So we will just store that ID. We called it as let's say created at datetime dot now. Okay, so so now what we will do, we will just have to call this method add uh, multiple collections. This is the method that we just wanted to write, and what we will need to do, we just have to pass the id over there. So id would be this result id. So we have to use await keyword here, so it will await it till okay. So what I am just doing here, if the result is stored successfully, so it will just added a it will just get the id from this, and we wanted to insert another like another sub collection that we have just created a document, so we wanted to create another sub collection inside that document. So we will just get the id back from that collection, and we will pass it inside here. So what if we just refresh it? Okay, so it is just refreshed, and okay, so if we will just create another document, so you can see here the document is created, and you can see that we are having another sub collection inside our new document that is created. So you can see here, you can see that we are getting the id that is just like this, and also the created ad that we have just used so far. So I think this would be helpful for you. This is a very simple task for me. So if you wanted to add some of the other parameters, so you can just pass inside this function like username, password and email. So you can just pass it and use these methods, these parameters inside here, and pass that parameters by as per your need. So thank you from my side, hope you enjoyed it.